I had my colors done, and spoiler alert, I'm obsessed. I couldn't stop talking about it. And I started to hear the same things again and again. Can't I just wear what I like? And isn't it all subjective? And even, I think seasonal color analysis is a scam. If you've ever wondered whether color analysis is really worth it or how much it actually matters, you're in the right place. Today, I'll show you how knowing your colors can help you stop wasting money on clothes that don't feel right and makes getting dressed easier and more enjoyable every day. And by the end, you will also know how to figure out if you're in the 40% or so of people who don't fit neatly into a color season at all. First, in case you're only vaguely familiar or don't really know what seasonal color analysis even is, I'll give a very brief 30,000-foot overview. So, looking at your natural features, your hair color, your skin tone, your eye color, seasonal color analysis is simply a framework to help you understand the colors that are going to look best on you. And to figure out where you fall, you look at 3 levers. First, how cool or warm your undertones are. Cool undertones are like bluish, pinkish, yellows and golds are warm undertones. So a common misconception is that Asian skin is warm or that all Black women are obviously dark in tone between light and dark. But that's not true. Any ethnicity is going to have both warm and cool and even neutral undertones. And similarly, the next lever is light and dark. And this is light or dark features relative to your skin tone. So it's not the case that people with dark skin are dark on this lever. It's more about contrast, certain contrast. So a good way to figure this out is to put an image of yourself into black and white. If you have overall light features, you're going to have a low contrast image in black and white. If your image is higher contrast, then you have dark features relative to your skin tone. And then there's a third category here that's just medium, similar to neutral in the undertones. You're medium if your hair, your skin, and your eye color are all medium in tone. Or if you have light eyes and light skin, but dark hair, you're medium. And the final lever is something like bright and soft, saturation. If your coloring is more bold and punchy and like full color, or if it's anything like grayed out, muted, soft or bright. So I know what many of you are thinking, which is, that's a lot. Who honestly cares? Can't I just wear what I like? So firstly, yes, of course. Of course, you can wear what you like. I know you know better than to let some girl on the internet tell you what you can and you can't wear. And I know that's how people talk about color analysis so often, the right colors and the wrong colors. But that's just for clarity and because we live in this like polarized time where you got to get the click or stop the scroll. And it's just sexier to say like, never wear the wrong color again versus you might look a little nicer in a brighter version of that color, which is the truth. So in the can't I just wear what I like category, absolutely. But the objection I have with that objection is, don't you want to know and at least be conscious of what's going to suit you the best? Because scientifically, there is no person who is going to look equally vibrant in every tint, shade, and tone of every single color. It does not exist. So the whole idea of color analysis is that there are going to be colors in which you brighten and come to life because those colors are complementary to your undertones and your features and the qualities that you naturally have. And there are other colors that are going to work against those things. And so when you're wearing colors that are quote unquote wrong for you, what happens is your skin color looks duller, you have sallow eyes, it just brings out the imperfections in your skin. And when you're in the colors that suit you best, your skin tone evens out, your lip color comes to life, your cheek color, your eye color, everything just pops more. And so my argument is, wouldn't you rather know which colors are which so that if you are purchasing something new or you're buying blush or lipstick, you can put your dollars and your energy toward things that are going to suit you and not work against your natural features. So the example that I've come up with for this one when I talk to people is, let's say your favorite sweater ends up being your perfectly wrong color. For me, peach is like the no-go. So I have a peach sweater and it's my favorite sweater. So I find out peach is my worst color. What's the deal? Who cares? Imagine that sweater and what you love about it. And I can guarantee you that it's going to be something like the feminine sleeves or the perfect fit, the way it just drapes on your body, or the perfect length to tuck into your high-waisted jeans. So you just love it, okay? It's your favorite sweater. I would guess that it would not be because the color is so nice. And if you imagine that same sweater in your best color, you would like it even more. So if you bring that information out of your subconscious into your conscious mind, now you can navigate with more clarity when you're shopping and prioritize whatever you liked about that sweater, the sleeve shape, etc., and pick it in your best color. And slowly but surely fill your closet with colors that suit you. And suddenly, when you get dressed and look in the mirror, you're going to have a more seamless experience. And you're not going to have to fight against the colors you're wearing with your makeup to bring color back into your face. Okay, peach is worst, green is best. Isn't it all subjective anyway? Well, in a word, no. There are definitely aspects of color that are objective, not subjective. Our eyes are made up of rods and cones, and the main so I've already lost myself. Basically, our eyes have photoreceptors that are perceiving wavelengths of light, and that is color. So we're perceiving all the time. There's never been a study to prove that any two people perceive color in the same way. So when I have a red drape over me, the color analyst and I agree this is the color red, but there's no way to say whether we're seeing the same color. Our eyes are constantly adjusting, and that's why a certain drape interacting with our hair, skin, and our eyes is going to make us perceive more or less color in the lips and the cheeks and the eyes. That's why some colors make your eyes pop. When you look at somebody, those colors are absorbing a certain amount of light and reflecting a certain amount of light. And when there's harmony, those colors are working together. And when there's disharmony, they're detracting from each other. So you could be wearing a color that's in disharmony with your eye color, and that's not going to give you that pop that's so pretty. So just frankly, if certain colors are complementary to your features and others are detracting from your features, I would say that some colors are certainly optimal and suboptimal, but I would even call them better and worse. So there's this argument of like, who's to say, it's all subjective. If I like this blush, then I like this blush. Sure, chances are you're going to like the blush that's in harmony with the rest of your undertones and your features. And so this is just a framework that will help you understand instead of just constantly buying and buying and buying peach and then rose and then purple and then brown and trying to find something. When you look in the mirror, you say, yeah, that's what I'm looking for, to actually get some objective data in to say, okay, actually a pink with a purple undertone is going to make my eyes pop. End of story. Which brings us to, is color analysis just a scam? So hopefully the points I've made have already demonstrated that no, these people are not scam artists selling you snake oil. They're working on an objective framework that does categorize colors relative to your features in a way that can be helpful for you to navigate the world of clothing, hair color, etc. That said, we can talk about, is it worth $200 or $300 to go get your colors done? That depends, obviously. For me, it paid for itself immediately because I had, personal story, just had 3 kids back to back to back, and I was desperately seeking something to like make me feel fresh and new. And I had just decided, as we do, that it was changing my hair color. And I've cut my hair off enough times to know that wasn't it. Now I'm going to dye it. I had this Pinterest board and I was just navigating on what looked good on Jessica Biel and J-Lo and anybody else, kind of nothing to do with me. And then I got my colors done, thank goodness. And it turns out I'm a true winter, and the best hair color for a true winter is exactly this. So instead of spending hundreds of dollars, possibly multiple times to figure that out, I was able to just let that thing go and say, okay, it's not dyeing my hair. So wouldn't you rather know the factors at play so you know if you want to get ash blonde or yellow blonde, chestnut or espresso, super punchy, almost artificial red that can be so pretty on some people, or like a really autumnal, earthy auburn? So for me, it paid for itself because I didn't go dye my hair the wrong color. But in a more kind of universal, relatable way, if that's like not your story at all, it has made me pretty immune to marketing because these color realities are like very much not taken for granted in the world of marketing, obviously, people love to say that a shade of lipstick is universally flattering, which is not scientifically possible. Or there's a trend of purple eyeliner. Everybody's doing it, and you should too. Well, couple things. There are people for whom purple eyeliner is going to really suit them, and other people for whom it's a hard pass. And certainly there's a difference between like a violet blue purple and more like an eggplant red purple. So, okay, even if you want to try that trend, then there's going to be a very different effect if you happen to buy aubergine versus violet. So, if I'm shopping for a dress online and it comes in 3 colors and they're all kind of grayed out, which are beautiful colors I would be drawn to otherwise, I can just pass because soft, muted, grayed out colors don't look great on me. Or if I'm shopping at a thrift store, I can just go through the rack and easily see like, no, 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 I'm just not going to bother with rust and burnt orange and hunter green, which are colors that I do really like. But the truth is, when I would bring them into my closet, then I go to declutter. I pull out those colors and I say, you know what? I don't actually love wearing this. I don't really like it. I don't really know why. And so I'm going to declutter it and give it away. And so now I think my declutters will be less epic because I'm not going to have all this stuff that doesn't really suit me that I didn't really understand why until now. And finally, I think this is most at play in investment pieces. If you're going to buy a really nice piece of jewelry, I, for one, would like to know if I'm going to look better in bright, silvery, white kind of metals, which I do, versus gold, which is very on trend right now and very available. So if I'm going to invest in a really beautiful necklace or pair of earrings, I'd rather end up spending the money on something that I'm probably going to wear 10 times more by buying the metal that suits me. Or you name it, a nice dress or a beautiful expensive scarf, whatever the case may be. But of course, there are countless things that are worth the money that you're not going to spend hundreds of dollars on. That's just life. So, is there any way to use this information without having to shell out that sort of money to get your colors done? One thing I would caution you against is just getting some cheap AI or going online and trying to do your colors yourself. And that's because it can be a little bit tricky. I even see girls online who are color educated trying to do their colors themselves, and they're making some really fundamental mistakes that a color analyst would say, oh no, that's actually not what that means, or you're understanding this a little bit wrong. And so for just somebody to go try to figure it out themselves, what I would worry about happening is that you diagnose yourself in a color season that isn't actually your color season. And then you have the opposite effect where you slowly over time kind of build a closet of clothing in this one color season, only to find out later, like, oh no, it gets better than this. You're actually going to look better in this other color season that maybe is somewhat or very different. The other inconvenient thing to be aware of that I see nobody talking about is that some people, and not like an insignificant few, but as many as like 40% of people don't fit into a color season at all. And here's what I mean. My husband and I went and got our colors done together, and we were doing the drapes. And while I am a textbook winter, I'm a true winter, he has neutral undertones and he turned out to be the quality deep. So what that means is because he's not warm or cool, he actually looks really good in colors from deep autumn and also deep winter. It's kind of an equal split for him. So he's the quality deep. If he were to have gone online, which he would never have done, he would get spit out, probably one of those 2 seasons, operate within it, and never know that actually that's not a perfect fit. So that said, if you did want to go online and try to navigate through this yourself, my color analyst is launching a website and she's got TikTok filters and a lot of free resources. And why I would recommend this over other online things is because I know she has a real appreciation for the falling into a quality category. And she said it is like 40% of the people who sit in her chair don't go home with a color season, they go home with a quality. So at least do a program, hers or something like hers, that accounts for the quality factor. And then finally, I think it is really great to do it in person. It's fun. You get to see the drapes. You get to look in the mirror and like do it in real time, have a relationship with a person. And if you go with a group, they often offer group discounts. And so if you can sell your friends on it, feel free to send them this video. You can go and each of you can get a discount. If you happen to be in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, I'll leave her information below. So if this was good food for thought or just entertaining in any way, please do hit the like button. And if you have gotten your colors done, be sure to let me know in the comments what your responses to these questions would be. And if you have any questions that I didn't answer, I'd be happy to try to get back to you in the comments or maybe make a piece of content just for you. So thank you so much for joining me, for being here, and I will see you in the next one.